Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so glad you're here. Today, we're exploring one of the most magical places in Taiwan, right on the beautiful northeast coast. We're going to take our time, keep a nice, relaxed pace so you can really soak in the stories. Ready to travel through time and nature? Let's go!
Okay, let's dive into this. Our itinerary is basically a virtual tour from the sea straight up into the mountains. We'll welcome you to the area, check out the coastal wonders of Shuinandong, head up to the gold town of Jinguashi, stroll through the famous movie streets of Jiou, and finally, share some must-know local food and travel tips.
Welcome to Jiou. A beautiful journey starts here. Our tour begins right now. Believe it or not, this whole area is only about 10 kilometers long. But wow, inside those 10 short kilometers, you get Taiwan's absolute best natural landscapes mixed with a really rich mining history.
And this brilliantly illustrates a very clever pun. You might be wondering, what does Jiou actually mean? Well, it's a combination of three town names, Shuinandong, Jinguashi, and Jiu. But here is the fun part. When you say Jiu in the local Taiwanese language, it sounds exactly like the phrase beautiful for a long time. It's literally the perfect name because the beauty of this land has absolutely survived the test of time.
Section 2, Shuinandong, Coastal Wonders, where the mountains meet the sea. Let's guide our eyes down to the coastline for a second. Just imagine a soft ocean breeze and the sound of crashing waves. This is our first stop.
So this is the famous Yin-Yang Sea. Look at those two totally different colors in the water. On the left side, you've got this bright golden yellow, and on the right, the deep blue of the ocean. Now, you might think that yellow color is pollution, right? Actually, it's not. It is a completely natural chemical reaction. Rainwater flows down through the old copper and iron mines, mixing with the minerals. When that acidic, iron-rich water hits the salty ocean, bam! It creates this golden yellow color. Take a second to just appreciate that natural contrast. It's beautiful.
Looking up from the sea, you'll spot this massive building on the hill. These are the remains of the 13 levels. It's an old smelting plant used to process minerals back in the day. Because it's built step by step right into the Green Mountain, people actually call it Taiwan's Machu Picchu, or a castle in the sky. And get this, if you visit between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., they light it up. It glows in the dark with this really mysterious, classic feeling.
Right near those ruins is the Golden Waterfall. The rocks are bright orange, and honestly, it looks amazing. But please pay close attention to this strict warning. The water is toxic. Because of the area's mining history, the water is filled with heavy metals, like arsenic, and it's highly acidic. You must never touch the water, and definitely, no way, do not drink it. Just enjoy it safely with your eyes and your camera, okay? Section 3, Jinguashi, the Gold Town, the first gold capital of East Asia. We're traveling a bit higher up the mountain now. Welcome to Jinguashi, a whole town built purely on the dream of gold. Today, this area has been turned into the Gold Ecological Museum. When you visit, you can actually walk inside the Benshin 5th Tunnel. Just imagine putting on a heavy hard hat and walking deep into the dark rock. The temperature inside? A cold 18 degrees Celsius year-round. It's dark, it's wet, and it really helps you understand just how incredibly hard those old miners had to work.
Now, what's really interesting about this next number is what it represents, 220. Inside the museum, there is a giant brick of pure gold that weighs exactly 220 kilograms. That's huge. It actually held a Guinness World Record. Today, that single gold brick is worth over 1 billion Taiwan dollars. And you know the best part? Visitors are actually allowed to reach out and touch it. You can literally feel the real weight of gold. But Jinguashi isn't just about money. It holds a lot of history, and some of it is quite heavy. Walking through this timeline, we see that back in 1922, the elegant Japanese-style Crown Prince Chalet was built here. But moving into the 1940s, during World War II, this exact area was used as a prisoner of war camp. Over 1,000 Allied soldiers were kept here. Today, it serves as a peace memorial park. Finally, jumping to 2004, the Gold Ecological Museum opened, preserving all of this history for us to learn from. Section 4. Jiu, movies and lanterns. Red lanterns and famous steps. Now we are heading all the way up to the very top of the mountain, to the most famous town of all. Get ready, because Jiu is just absolutely full of energy and excitement.
So the word Jiu literally means 9 parts. But why? Well, there are two simple theories. The common story says that a long time ago, only 9 families lived on this mountain. Whenever they ordered supplies from town, they'd always ask for 9 parts. But historians have another idea. They say there used to be 90 special stoves here for boiling camphor tree oil. They were divided into groups of 10, making 9 parts in total. Both stories are pretty fascinating, right?
When you think of Jiu, you are probably picturing Shuqi Road. This is that steep street made entirely of stone steps. There are exactly 365 steps in total. This actually symbolizes every single day of a full year. And lining both sides of these steps are bright, beautiful red lanterns. Back in the 1980s, a famous movie called A City of Sadness, starring Tony Leung, was filmed right here. It won the Golden Lion Award in Venice, and suddenly the whole world just fell in love with Jiufen's nostalgic, classic aesthetic.
But I have a question for you. Did the famous Japanese anime movie Spirited Away start here? Take a second. What do you think? Did this beautiful town actually inspire that magical movie world?
Well, the answer is no. So many tourists believe it's true, but the famous director Hayao Miyazaki never actually confirmed it. Still, you have to admit the town looks so much like the movie that it feels magical anyway. We just like to call it a very beautiful cultural coincidence.
Section 5. Local food and travel tips. Taste the history and stay safe. Let's move to our final section and see how this all builds together. Exploring all this culture will definitely make you hungry, and of course, you need to be prepared for the mountain environment.
Here are some absolute must-try local foods. First up, sweet taro balls. You can get them served hot or cold, and they are incredibly chewy and delicious. Next, kauzagol. These are sweet and salty, chewy grass cakes. So good. And finally, you absolutely must sit down at a traditional tea house, like the famous Ame Tea House. Western tourists especially love sitting here, drinking hot oolong tea and just taking in those grand ocean views.
And speaking of those chewy grass cakes, here is a wild piece of history for you. Back in the gold rush days, the miners wanted to take some gold home for themselves, right? So they would hide tiny pieces of gold inside the grass cakes, swallow them whole, and sneak them right past the guards. Now don't worry, the grass cakes you buy today only have delicious food inside, definitely no gold.
Now, before you visit, please check this safety list. First, those mountain steps are steep, and it rains a lot. So wear very good walking shoes, and always bring a raincoat or an umbrella. Second, the old streets get very crowded. Keep your bags close and watch out for pickpockets. Third, if you're traveling with a group, always write down your meeting time and place. The Jiufen Visitor Center is a great spot for that.
And here is a quick professional tip for anyone guiding groups out there. If someone asks for another traveler's room number or their schedule, the rule is strict. Never share personal information without their permission. Respecting privacy isn't just polite, it is a very important legal rule.
So the crucial point is summarized perfectly right here. Jiao is more than just an old street. It is a complete miniature of Taiwan's golden years. I just love that. It brings together the ocean, the mountains, the joy of the movies, and the hard work of the miners all into one beautiful picture.
And that brings us to the end of our journey today. So, which part of Taiwan's golden history do you want to explore first? The deep blue and yellow sea? The dark, cold mining tunnels? Or maybe the bright red lanterns of the tea houses? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope you take away some wonderful golden memories.